His wife stared at the envelope, stunned, unable to understand how Wuben could have gone so far. Minsu's father quickly said that Wuben shouldn't be blamed. He was only trying to do something good for a friend he cared about deeply. But now he didn't know what to do with the truth. He wondered aloud whether they should tell Minsu about it or keep it hidden since she had never asked. He voiced his fear that if she found her biological family, she might leave them behind or feel torn between two homes. His wife reached for his hands again, calming him. She told him she understood his fears, but reminded him that the truth always finds its way out. Sooner or later, Minsu would learn the truth. She deserved to know. Just then, Minsu entered the room. She had heard the final part of their conversation, her steps light, but her eyes wide with questions. She looked at them, her voice quiet but firm as she asked what it was that she was supposed to know. Both her parents turned to her, their hearts pounding, caught between protecting her from pain and giving her the truth she might not be ready to hear. The envelope weighed heavy in his hand as they realized the moment of choice had come, and there was no turning back. Meanwhile, as Wuben drove home, he passed by the cemetery and noticed Kim's father's car parked nearby. Curiosity gnawed at him, so he pulled over and sat in his car for a moment, watching to see if he could spot him. When he couldn't see anything in the darkness, he stepped out and walked through the cemetery grounds, making his way toward Kim's grave. There, he found Kim's father lying beside the headstone, his figure hunched and broken in the dim light. Wuben paused, standing silently for a moment, taking in the sight of a man who once commanded so much respect, now reduced to a shadow of himself. It was clear he had truly lost himself, consumed by grief and deep depression. Worried, Wuben stepped closer and gently asked if he was all right, reminding him that it wasn't safe to be out there so late at night. Kim's father looked up at him with hollow eyes, his voice empty as he spoke about how he couldn't leave his daughter alone. He confessed he felt responsible for her death, that he had failed her so many times as a father, and he would rather spend the rest of his life by her grave as penance for all the ways he had let her down. Seeing him like that pained Wuben deeply. He knelt beside him, trying to reach him with reason and comfort. He reminded him that Kim was in a better place now, and that she would never want to see him destroying himself like this. He reached for his hand, trying to help him up and persuade him to go home. But Kim's father pulled his hand away and pushed Wuben back, refusing to move. He shouted that he wasn't leaving and that he had nothing left to live for. He would stay by his daughter's side no matter what. Wuben's heart tightened painfully in his chest. He knew the truth, that Kim was alive and well, somewhere far away, starting over. He had promised her not to tell anyone, and now that promise felt like a cruel chain holding him back from saving this man in front of him. He told Kim's father that living like this would only make everything they had fought for meaningless. He reminded him that they had taken down the people who hurt Kim so he could live free, not chained to grief in a graveyard. He told him he was throwing away his chance at life and that he might as well have let his cruel wife and stepdaughter finish him if he was going to waste it like this. But Kim's father didn't listen. He shouted at Wuben to leave him alone and not disturb his final moments with his daughter. He wanted nothing but to stay right there beside her forever. Wuben rose to his feet, helpless. He looked down at him, once one of Korea's most respected businessmen, now broken beyond recognition. He knew there was only one thing that could pull him back from this edge, but he couldn't break his word to Kim. He couldn't reveal that she was alive, not now, not like this. Desperate, Wuben pulled out his phone and dialed Kim's uncle. He told him to come to the cemetery immediately, that it was an emergency involving his brother. The uncle promised he would be there soon before hanging up. Wuben stood there silently, watching over Kim's father as he lay on the cold ground beside a grave that no longer held his daughter. He hoped that when her uncle arrived and saw his brother like this, he might find it in himself to reveal the truth. Something Wuben couldn't do no matter how much it hurt.